beauty, emotion, and detail. That right there is the world of John Everett Millais. We're about to dive into the life and work of an artist who didn't just paint pictures. No, he captured entire worlds on his canvas.
So, let's start at the beginning. Our story kicks off with a young guy whose talent was so huge, it was about to shake the British art world to its very core. We're talking, of course, about John Everett Millais, a real giant of his time. And look, if you want to get a handle on 19th century British art, you've just got to understand this guy. He was way more than just a painter. He was a full-blown cultural phenomenon. So picture this. He's living and working during the Victorian era, right? A time of just massive change, industry, new ideas popping up everywhere. And his art, it became this incredible lens, reflecting and even shaping all the hopes and fears of this fascinating period. And get this, Millais was a total child prodigy. I mean, he became the youngest student ever to get into the Royal Academy schools at the incredible age of 11. You know, that's not just talent, that's pure genius, and everyone could see it. But here's the thing. A prodigy who just follows the rules, they don't really change the world. And Millais, well, he was about to become a rebel. He was ready to team up with other young artists and carve out a completely new path. Okay, so let's set the scene. The year is 1848. Revolutions are sweeping across Europe, and right in the middle of it all, a small group of artists in London decides, hey, let's start our own rebellion, an artistic one. And they gave themselves a name, the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood. Now, at the core of this kind of secret society were three brilliant, super ambitious young guys. Millais, of course, the poet and painter Dante Gabriel Rossetti, and the very religious William Holman Hunt. Their mission? To basically tear down the boring, stuffy academic art that was popular at the time. So what was their big revolutionary idea? Well, they wanted to completely reject the smooth, perfect-looking style that had been popular since the great Renaissance master Raphael. Instead, they wanted to go back to what they felt was the purity and honesty of art that came before him. It all boiled down to three key things: incredible detail, being true to nature, and capturing raw, powerful emotion. And this new way of thinking? It led Millais to create what would become one of the most famous, most beloved paintings in all of British art. A piece of just haunting beauty that required unbelievable dedication. His masterpiece, Ophelia. I mean, this painting is absolutely breathtaking, right? But the story behind how it was made is honestly just as dramatic as the scene itself. So what did it really take to bring Shakespeare's tragic heroine to life in such stunning, realistic detail? The dedication here is just wow. The model, a woman named Elizabeth Siddal, went through an unbelievable ordeal. She had to lie for months in a bathtub full of water. The only thing keeping it warm were some oil lamps placed underneath. Well, one day, Millais was so lost in his work, he didn't even notice the lamps went out. The water turned ice cold and Siddal got dangerously sick. It's a pretty shocking story, but it just goes to show the extreme lengths they would go to for the sake of their art. And this obsession with truth, it wasn't just about the process. You can see it in every single brushstroke. It's what formed his unique signature style. You know, when you look closely at a Millais painting, three things really jump out at you. First, the colors. They're so vivid and bright, they almost seem to glow. Second, the insane amount of detail. It's just breathtaking. Every single leaf, every thread in a piece of fabric, it's all there, almost like a photograph. And finally, there's this deep, powerful emotion that just pulls you right into the story. So what happens next? Well, the young rebel eventually became part of the establishment. As Millais got older, his life and his art kept evolving, and he cemented his legacy in a totally different, but just as powerful way. Later in his career, that fiery passion of the Pre-Raphaelite movement kind of mellowed out and was replaced by a more traditional style. He became this hugely successful, in-demand portrait painter, which was, the ultimate sign of high society acceptance. His paintings became more formal, and talk about a full-circle moment. He went from being an art world rebel to becoming the president of the Royal Academy. Yeah, the exact same institution he once tried to tear down. But here's the bottom line. Whether he was a young revolutionary or an established master, Millais created images that just transcend time. His work still captivates us. It still inspires us. It's the ultimate proof that when you combine that much beauty, emotion, and detail, you really can create art that lives forever.